Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving deep into the Vatican's recently released document, Antiqua et Nova. We are going to be translating its really profound theological reflections into a highly practical guide specifically designed for faith leaders and organizational stewards who are trying to navigate this massive epical change brought on by artificial intelligence. So let's run through our roadmap real quick. We're starting with AI and the divine image, then comparing human intellect to algorithmic output. After that, we'll look at risks to relationships, algorithms and justice, lay out an ethical audit, and finally wrap up with a practical parish guide. All right, let's jump into Section 1, AI and the divine image. You know, the source text hits us with this profound idea right out of the gate. It says, the Christian tradition regards the gift of intelligence as an essential aspect of how humans are created in the image of God. So what does this mean for us? Well, it establishes human intellect not just as some tool to maximize economic efficiency, but as a divine reflection. It's meant to help us responsibly care for the created world. Technology, then, isn't something separate. It should be viewed as an extension of that divine stewardship, a real opportunity to collaborate in perfecting the visible world around us. Moving right along to Section 2, Intellect versus Algorithmic Output. There is a massive fundamental difference here that we have to get right. On the one hand, human intelligence is this incredible, embodied mystery. It grows through lived experience, it's relational, it exercises moral discernment, and it's intrinsically ordered toward truth and love. Contrast that with artificial intelligence. AI is strictly a logical, mathematical framework. It simulates reasoning, but it's not truly thinking. It relies purely on statistical inference to spit out functional output. It's a difference in kind, not just degree. Think of it like comparing a master chef tasting and adjusting a complex family recipe to a calculator just adding up the calories. One is actually experiencing reality. The other is literally just processing numbers. And yes, AI has evolved incredibly fast, from John McCarthy defining it back in 1956 to today's massive data-driven predictive models and zooming toward the ambitious goal of artificial general intelligence. But the source text emphatically reminds us of one absolutely crucial point. AI remains a product of human intellect. It is not an artificial equivalent of it. It's a tool we made, not a being we birthed. Which brings us to Section 3. Risks to authentic human relationships. This is a big one, especially if you're a parent or educator. Anthropomorphizing machines, treating them like they are human, poses severe risks. It encourages us, and especially kids, to treat real human relationships in a purely transactional way, kind of like you're just prompting a chatbot to get what you want. But AI cannot experience true empathy. True emotions reflect how a whole person with a physical body relates to the world. So misrepresenting a tool as a person degrades the vital necessity of spontaneous, messy, embodied encounters with actual people. The Book of Wisdom actually gives us a really stark warning about this, serving as a powerful reminder against idolatry. It basically tells us never to prioritize or replace our relationships with God in our community with lifeless technological interactions. Elevating an AI to the level of a companion, or worse, a deity, is a highly dangerous form of modern idolatry. Instead of retreating into these safe artificial digital spaces, we're called to engage deeply and authentically with reality. Okay, Section 4, Algorithms, Inequality, and Justice. The source text talks about this thing called the technocratic paradigm. It's basically this dangerous worldview that assumes literally all human problems can be solved through technology alone. The problem? Treating humans merely according to their functional output leads to severe marginalization. We lose appreciation for the much broader horizon of human worth. Human dignity must absolutely never be violated just for the sake of digital efficiency. Because of this, we've got to evaluate the ethical risks across every single domain of our lives. Think about labor. AI risks disskilling workers and stripping human labor of its inherent dignity. In the justice system, it can widen the digital divide or deploy unjust social scoring. Environmentally, data centers have massive carbon and water footprints that strain our common home. And in healthcare, if AI replaces the human touch with some impersonal system, creating a medicine for the rich, it completely fails to honor the dignity of the suffering. Every single application has to be evaluated to ensure it's actually promoting the common good. So let's transition into the practical toolkit. Section 5, Ethical Audit for Decision-Making. How do we actually do this on a day-to-day basis?
Well, the text gives us a step-by-step audit to ensure technology always remains subordinate to human agency. Organizational leaders must maintain oversight. Step 1, identify human responsibility. Step 2, align your objectives with the common good. Step 3, ensure algorithmic transparency to mitigate bias. And Step 4, absolutely prevent over-dependency on automation. The number 1. That is literally the number of true moral agents in any interaction between a human and a machine. Between a computer and a person, only the human is a subject of moral responsibility. Only the human is capable of listening to a conscience and deciding with prudence. We can never, ever outsource our moral accountability to an algorithm.
Finally, we arrive at Section 6, Parish Reflection and Sermon Points.
If you're a community pastor or faith leader, here are some incredibly potent sermon talking points derived straight from the source. Use these to guide your congregation. Emphasize that human dignity is grounded in the image of God, not in cognitive speed. Preach on the vast contemplative difference between the stillness of prayer and the mechanics of data processing. And constantly remind your flock that real wisdom demands authentic, physical, embodied encounters with reality, not just chatting with a bot.
And on the administrative side, here's a parish leadership checklist. This is highly actionable. It's going to help your parish councils ensure that any new technology you adopt genuinely supports the common good and honors your vocation to serve. Before you sign that vendor contract for new software, ask yourselves, are we protecting individuals from being reduced to mere data points? Is this technology supporting environmental stewardship? Does this specific initiative actually serve the poor and vulnerable? I absolutely love this quote from the text. A person's perfection is measured not by the information or knowledge they possess, but by the depth of their charity. Think about that for a second. True relational intelligence dictates that how we use technical innovation to include the most vulnerable among us will always be the true measure of our humanity. At the end of the day, it's about charity, for sure, not computing power. I want to leave you with this final, vital question to spark some deeper exploration within your own communities. If our technological progress is accelerating so incredibly fast, are we simultaneously becoming more spiritually mature, more responsible, and more open to the needs of the vulnerable? In short, if our machines are getting faster, are our hearts getting wider? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Take this toolkit, use the insights from these slides, and go lead your organizations with wisdom, both ancient and new.